Welcome back to AgriTalk Online from Commodity Classic in Nashville, Tennessee. Keith Alverson joins us from Chester, South Dakota, Vice President of the South Dakota Corn Growers Association and a board member for the National Corn Growers Association. Keith, thanks for joining us again this year. You and I have been talking a lot about conditions this spring in South Dakota. You've had a mild winter. You live on the eastern side of the state, a mild winter. It's important for corn growers in your state of South Dakota to get off to as early a start as possible because of a shorter growing season. So right now, you think farmers in your area will be able to get going pretty quickly based on what we've had so far weather-wise?
Yeah, I think so. We just received a little bit of moisture, and we'd been dry all winter, and so we always like to say in our area, at least, plant in the dust and the bins will bust, because so often those wet springs really hamper, us doing timely planting, and I've even talked to guys in the northeast part of the state that they're excited this year because they're actually selecting what corn hybrids to plant in what fields rather than just actually trying to find fields to plant corn in.
You think there'll be a switch to more acres in South Dakota this year?
I think it's all going to be market conditions, but certainly if we have, a drier spring, it lends itself towards planting corn, because if things are rolling smoothly and early, it's easy for the corn to keep getting put in the planters and keep rolling there. So I would think that, looking forward right now, we might see a little increase.
The ethanol industry is still important to South Dakota corn growers.
Oh, absolutely. It's been such a positive influence within our state. We just, prior to the ethanol industry, we had, wide bases, and, we have difficulty just with the rail system within the state. We've only got one Class 1 railroad that ships out of South Dakota, and so it was a real captive market. And so adding that value within the state's been important to us and playing a role in, producing renewable fuel for the nation.
Well, let's talk about that, because obviously we talk a lot about ethanol here on AgriTalk, and one of the things we talk about is how important it is to rural America, rural economies, rural communities. South Dakota would be a prime example of it.
Oh, the economic development around the ethanol plants that we've seen is just unbelievable. We see, trucking companies and, repair shops, and, the value that's added back to the farm community through, we're making investments within our farm to handle that extra corn that we deliver to the ethanol plants, and having the livestock facilities close to handle the distillers' grains and feed coming off of that, has just been unbelievable. And it's, really important because, in some areas we've been seeing towns that are drying up because of, the economics of agriculture and the difficulty through some of those years.
Here at Commodity Classic, a lot of talk about obviously the farm bill that's being written this year. A lot of talk about the importance of crop insurance. Is that something that South Dakota corn growers are stressing as well?
Oh, absolutely. We're hopeful that the farm bill will get done in 2012. We're not going to make any statements on how much Congress will get done, but we're certainly hoping and encouraging that process to happen. And crop insurance is really key. We want to provide a safety net with these, increase in commodity prices. The increase in our production costs have certainly followed, and some of the energy costs and other things associated. And so having some sort of safety net to keep the farm economy alive and well, it starts with crop insurance for South Dakota farmers.
Starts with crop insurance. What else do you think is needed in this farm bill to offer that safety net?
Well, we're really thrilled with the ARM legislation that was proposed by Sherrod Brown and John Thune, and NCGA is definitely supportive of their work there to provide some of those, fill in some of the gaps where it can enhance crop insurance to provide in some of those times where provide a safety net in some of those times where crop insurance doesn't work the way so the farm level would need to.
What are some of the state issues that you're working on as a corn grower group?
We're dealing with some drainage issues within the state. South Dakota historically hasn't been as well drained as some of the neighboring states. With the increase in moisture, we've been seeing record rainfalls. Having adequate farm drainage, in order to maintain our productivity. has been something that we've been real active working on, and trying to strike a balance between that and preserving some of the natural habitat that we have in South Dakota for some of the wildlife.
Well, good luck. Hope you have a good year, and hopefully you'll be able to get off to a good start this year. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much for having me, Mike.
Keith Alverson, he's from Chester, South Dakota, Vice President of the South Dakota Corn Growers Association and a member of the Board of Directors for the National Corn Growers Association. Joining us here at the Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee at Commodity Classic. This is AgriTalk Online.